Today on 15 on 15, the government of Aruba has new plans for the Valero property. Also, World Health officials say that the cases of Ebola are getting worse and keeps on growing. And is the weather in Aruba too hot to handle? We'll tell you why. 15 on 15 starts right now.
Welcome to this edition of 15 on 15. I am Ichelle Simon sitting in for Yentelu. After the refinery completely closed down last year, the government of Aruba was in deliberations as to what will happen with the Valero property in the future. Looking at the recent economic instabilities that Aruba has at the moment, acquiring these properties from Valero might be the solution to alleviate some of the financial burden Aruba has at the moment.
The Board of Ministers of Aruba appointed the Minister of Energy, Mike de Mesa, to start the negotiations with Valero to transfer an area of the refinery in order to develop new projects on that specific property. It seems on different occasions, Valero already made some offers to transfer certain properties to the government of Aruba that are very valuable, like the fuel site and the one that Valero used for transshipment. If this happens, it will be a great accomplishment for the government since these assets are very valuable and will be used to support the investment fund. Besides that, the financial transfer tax will also be incorporated into the investment fund, and that will help pay for the projects that the PPP and SOGA financed. This capital will also help cover the continuation of certain projects that are already in the works, like upgrading the neighborhoods, main streets, and schools.
And in other news, 400 to 500 new jobs will be created with the opening of the Rio Hotel, and the priority will be given to locals, according to the Minister of Labor, Paul Cruz.
The date is set for October 11th, the opening of the new wing of Rio Hotel. Prior to this, it was the Western Hotel. This is good news for the Department of Labor since new jobs are created, and that will sure lower the number of unemployment rates on Aruba that were projected for this year. The Minister of Labor, Paul Cruz, wanted to stay on top of what jobs are available, so locals are first in line to get those jobs. Now that the hotel is almost finished, more jobs openings will be available, and Aruba's labor force surely has all the necessary experienced workers to cover all entry-level positions.
Recently, the police department held an inspection at various supermarkets in certain districts of Aruba. They were looking for supermarkets who employ children under the age of 18 to work as bag packers, which is against the law. They were also looking in these supermarkets who were selling alcohol and let customers consume the alcohol in the store, which is not permitted as well by the law.
A total of 13 supermarkets in the area of Santa Cruz were rigorously inspected by the police in case certain of the supermarkets were violating the laws, like employing minors to work as backpackers. In Aruba, this is against the law for children under the age of 18 to work and get paid, and worst, if it's for tips. The obligatory education that was initiated recently states that every child under the age of 18 should be in school. In regards to alcohol, some supermarkets were fined since customers were consuming alcohol in and outside the premises of the supermarket. The police department made sure that all the supermarkets they inspected had a sign that warns customers that consuming alcohol inside or outside the store is not permitted by the law.
And coming up, a new experimental drug might be the cure for the Ebola virus. Stay tuned. World Health officials say the Ebola outbreak in West Africa is getting worse, and the number of cases could eventually grow to 20,000, 6 times as many as are known now.
The United Nations Health Agency has rolled out a new $489 million plan to tackle the disease, which has killed more than 1,500 people in West Africa. It aims to stop Ebola transmission within 6 to 9 months to prevent it from spreading internationally. Britain's biggest drug maker, GlaxoSmithKline, is fast-tracking an experimental Ebola vaccine to test on healthy volunteers to make sure it is safe and could be used in an emergency.
And here are some of today's top health stories.
Researchers in the United Kingdom found a fist bump spread fewer germs than shaking someone's hand or giving a high five. Fist bumping beats handshaking in high fives in the battle to control the spread of germs. Researchers in the United Kingdom found twice as much bacteria transmitted from a handshake compared to a high five. The fist bump spread the least amount of germs. British researchers are proposing a new classification system for breast cancers, breaking the disease down into 10 different categories. They looked at more than 8,500 tumor samples to come up with the classifications. They say it could lead to more effective and better targeted treatments. People who suffer from depression or compulsive eating and bulimia could be at greater risk of getting diabetes. Researchers in the Netherlands looked at the association between various mental health behaviors and diabetes. They found that patients who address their mental health issues may have a better chance to avoid adult diabetes.
And now for Tech Bites. On September 9th, Apple is having an event where it will likely reveal the iPhone 6. But it's also possible Apple could use that event to reveal something you wear on your wrist, like an iWatch.
The invitations are out. Apple sent out invitations Thursday to a press event where it's expected to unveil some widely anticipated new products. The invitation revealed few details beyond the fact that the event will be held September 9 in Cupertino, California, where the company is based. Short but sweet invitations wish we could say more. Apple is reportedly planning to introduce its new iPhone 6 and also a wearable device, unofficially dubbed the iWatch. There is also some news related to Siri, Apple's digital voice assistant. Apple has a new iPhone model every year since they were first introduced in 2007. This year's update is expected to include two different size options, one with a 4.7-inch display and a larger 5.5-inch model to compete with phones like the Samsung Galaxy S5.
It's Friday, and we have some celebrity gossip about the most famous couple in the world, from Mr. and Mrs. Smith to Mr. and Mrs. Pitt. Yes, it is Brangelina who finally made it official and managed to somehow keep it secret from the media. The couple, who has been together for 10 years, have 6 kids, tied the knot in a private ceremony on Saturday in a small chapel at the Chateau Miraval in Provence in southern France. Well, congrats, Brangelina. We hope you think of Aruba for your honeymoon. And the break is on its way. But first, a whale that can play peekaboo. Watch. Besides introducing Wi-Fi hotspot as strategic tourist attractions and hotel areas over the island, the Aruba Tourism Authority is also instituting a new department called Destination Services Unit as a part of their overall business plan.
Recently, the Aruba Tourism Authority got introduced to a new project that will complement their business plan to expand the destination management. In the following years, ATA will focus on these changes in the plan and introduce a new department called Destination Services Unit, which will take care of not only attracting tourists to the island, but elevate the amount they spend at the destination. Mobile officers, as ATA calls them, will be walking around at various strategic tourist attractions to service and give information to tourists. Hopefully, this will make the attractions more accessible to the visitors, and it might also encourage them to spend a little more on the island.
And have you wondered why it is so hot on the island all of a sudden? Certain tropical storms may have contributed to that, but it has something to do with the sun system, according to NASA officials.
In the last couple of days, locals as well as tourists has felt the intense heatness on the island. According to NASA, tropical depressions might have something to do with that. But the Solar Dynamics Observatory of NASA captured images of a flare which erupted on the left side of the sun. Solar flares are powerful bursts of radiation. Harmful radiation from a flare cannot pass through Earth's atmosphere to physically affect humans on the ground. However, when intense enough, they can disturb the atmosphere in the layer where GPS and communication signals travel. This flare is classified as an M5 flare. M-class flares are 10 times less powerful than most intense flares, called X-class flares.
Kids like to play peekaboo, and so does whales. A video on YouTube has caught the attention of many viewers that shared this 400,000 times in the last few days. Have a look.
A mother in Connecticut captured this moment between her son and a playful beluga whale at the Mystic Aquarium. Michelle Cotton posted this video on YouTube, and in just a few days, it got 400,000 hits. According to the aquarium, the young male named Juno was displaying a form of play, not aggression. Peekaboo is Juno's favorite. This behavior was not trained in Juno. Belugas are species that are very social and playful. This is not the first time that a beluga video has gone viral. This video from a Chinese aquarium together with one of Juno has been viewed nearly 4 million times.
Well, that's it for this edition of 15 on 15. We'll be back on Monday with more news for you. See you then.